Hello, Culture Matters podcast. Today is another 30 days of thought, so we together can read to think, write to develop, listen to hear what is unsaid, and speak to let go. I'm reading frustrated today. Here's my quote. Our antagonists are our mirrors. Frustrated, page 18. How is one perturbed by another when that which upsets him is his own duty, undeveloped, unearned, and unexecuted upon? One cannot project unto others the falseness of his being, juxtaposed between an angel on his left and demon on his right. The being a day laborer of responsibility must have courage, at least enough to break themselves in. For without bearings, no person can withstand the gravity of another's decision. One cannot control every outcome. One can only test their fate by their decision to work by developing their senses, all six of them, culture included. Therein lies one's morality in the blunderings of their unconscious habituation. If one does not reflect on their actions, then they cannot tap into their senses completely. Touch, smell, taste, see, hear, and culture. The sixth sense is culture because everyone should have inner alignment of their character. When one is not clear, one's weakness will reign through and gravity will take place. A better nature and worse evil are attracted at the same time. And one superpower and kryptonite will combine, revoking their opportunity to step into their higher self. At that moment, resentment or inner peace will be presented, and it will be up to a decision. The solution to frustration is inner peace. Stargazing confuses the senses, but mirrors show us our truth. Face your frustration with your reflection and take responsibility. Our antagonists are our mirrors. We learn about ourselves through how we relate to others, where we're at in our own journey of discovery, in our own development of the values that we talk about, that we say we believe, or we say we convince ourselves that we believe. Maybe we teach them to others so that they believe what we believe. I'm making an argument that our actions reveal the integration of what we say and think we believe. This part here, for without bearings, no person can withstand the gravity of another's decision. Without bearings, the integration of my values into my ability to interact through them. So if it's me and you interacting with one another, I have an angel on my left and a demon on my right shoulder. You have a demon on your left and an angel on your right. I have a demon on my left and an angel on my right. You have an angel on your left. Wait, I have an angel, I have a demon, I have an angel on my left and a demon on my right. You have a demon on your left and an angel on your right. We both have angels and demons, and we're engaged in interacting with one another in contrasts. And the proportion of contrast, so let's say if I think I'm positive and I think you're negative, the actual validity of if I'm correct and I'm actually positive, my belief about you is negative, will be revealed in how I relate to you. That's the feedback loop. And if it is a fact that it's how you're relating to me is negative, ultimately what degree of ability to respond can I bring to the table to take what's negative and make it more positive. It's not just cutting you out. It's carving myself through that interaction of either perceivable negativity or actual negativity. Because the perception and the actuality of the negativity has an otherness to it. It involves my counterpart. It's not just me in the interaction. And even like, and let's say it is negative. The question is how strong or how integrated am I in my values to be able to pull my counterpart out of what I perceive as negative, and or actually is negative in action, negative in word, negative in thought, negative in interaction. How is one perturbed by another when that which upsets him is his own duty, undeveloped, unearned, and unexecuted upon? Although there is a responsibility of the counterpart, let's say the evil doer, there is a degree of responsibility. There is still an ability to respond to hatred, to antagonism, to conflict of the victim, of the person relating to the person relating to them. There's still a degree of, there's still my ability to respond to that conflict, whether it's an axe murderer running at me with an axe, or it's a conversation that's not easy for me to have, or it's a sale I'm losing, a business deal, a subordinate I'm having disagreement with, a partner I'm unable to be partner with anymore, is how I see it and feel it. How honest am I being? How communicative? How forthright? How committed to the cause? How well have I listened? What degree of responsibility do I have in the relationship? What's my track record been like in my ability to respond to seeing things differently? I have a level of responsibility if I'm in the interaction, I'm in the engagement. One cannot project unto others the falseness of his being juxtaposed between an angel on his left and a demon on his right. The being, a day laborer of responsibility, must have courage, at least enough to break themselves in. Courage to stand, courage to not let pride protect me from the pain of the speech. So for example, in the comments section I was reading today, just randomly, of some interviews I did in the past, were critical. There were critical feedback from strangers, of me, right? That would be the aesthetic observation. It was me. There were things I was doing in the interview that they had feedback for, and how they gave it made me feel bad. That said, I worked through that and tried to figure out, well, what can they see that I may not be able to, because I'm not thinking about it. And at the time wouldn't have seen or whatnot. And really tried to figure that out. What is their value? And then this idea came about, well, I'll read it because I posted this out, and it's just a projection, right? To think that they have some ulterior motive, but it may or may not be the case. But this other thought came to me, and I'll read it. Oh, did it not post? Oh, here it is. Jealousy may lead to sharp criticism, but it doesn't mean there is not truth hidden underneath advice. So if to be jealous of someone leads to honesty, if I focus on the jealousy or my perception that it's jealousy, how do I know it's jealousy? I mean, I could guess, and even if it's true, so, and then what? I could spend so much time worrying about the other person's autobiography and not enough trying to figure out, well, what could they be right about? And then I fall into some type of negativity in the irony of combating negativity. Now we're both deconstructing each other's autobiography as opposed to. And remember that it was based on a presumption in the first place. Someone's jealous. Maybe they're not jealous at all. Maybe they're just better. They could be better, more competent in an area. But this came to mind. Jealousy, the extreme came to mind. Jealousy may lead to sharp criticism, but it doesn't mean there is not truth hidden underneath vice. Virtue has a close relationship with vice. The beauty of, quote, the invisible hand is that humans need not be perfect to better others, their enemies, themselves, and the world. They must frankly, quote, be. I must constantly ask, am I listening? Am I open? There's value in the reflection. And I've found that critics, those could be labeled as critics. You know, what is that? A stranger with a thought, and contrary to to me or you or anybody's thought. I guess that's a critic. There's value in criticism relative to how well I can be rooted in my own values of openness and curiosity and love and so on, to be able to learn from that criticism. And anyway, in this example, the comment section, a lot of good thoughts came about reading those comments. And I don't know what the people were thinking or not thinking. And I could guess and I could be right, but I could also open up my heart and my hand to talk to them and learn and potentially grow from that, and potentially them grow as well. And there'll be a culture there's a level of integration going on. Integration, a bridge being built versus destroyed. For without being no person, one cannot control every outcome. One can only test their fate by their decision to work by developing their senses, all six of them. Yeah, I'm saying that culture is a sixth sense, because it's a agglomeration of everything. Seeing, smelling, touch, taste, listening, and being with the world through others, through oneself. Culture is the embodiment of the in-between. And it's not just the senses. It's something that connects us more deeply. Therein lies one's morality in the blunderings of their unconscious habituation. That sentence, the values that I live out in the world have a relationship with the behaviors that I may not be able to reflect upon because they're below my awareness, they're below myself, my individuality. Those that run antagonistic to me know them well, and they'll speak them easily without second thought because they don't have a relationship with me. The paradox of love is the closer we are to someone, the more we love someone, the more we love unconditionally, we'll tolerate. And there's a value of conditional love with a stranger, right? Someone farther away from us, less attached, maybe more objective. They have less skin in the game, less fear. It's and there's love, there's conflict in love. The closer you let someone, the more they feel open to share with you. I may be less likely to listen to them and less likely to take, because I take them for granted. There's an entitlement in love. There's an entitlement in proximity and dependency. And so we won't listen to those closest to us. We'll listen to those farthest away that we believe are better than us. We won't listen to those farthest away from us that we don't believe are better than us. When they'll be just as valuable and helpful as those closest to us that we're not listening to, or those far away from us that we are admiring and maybe worshiping. They'll have too much power over us because we're negating our ability to respond to conflict by just admiring and worshiping them. our ability to respond is not being tested, because we may just be those that we worship's yes person. We may not feel good enough to challenge them, safe. We may not even be thinking about challenging them because we're just in awe of them. And that's not good. That's going to break down culture, break down that relationship. Eventually, the mentee and the mentor will be at odds with one another. Eventually, when the mentee outgrows the mentor and hasn't built up the ability to tell the mentor the truth, or the mentor has forgotten how to listen and doesn't ask enough, or isn't vulnerable enough with the mentee. And that dichotomy of power is going to deconstruct culture. When one is not clear, one's weakness will reign through and gravity will take place. Yeah, the weakness would be let's say, vice virtue. The demon will take over. The demon's gravity will be a black hole versus like a sun with the right amount of proximity to other matter to make Earths versus Pluto's and Mars. Mars is too close, burns up, there's no life. Pluto's too far and it's too cold, there's no life. Leadership is just close enough and far enough away for there to be life on Earth and another piece of matter to create its own energy flow source, economy, cells, psychology, all that. And we can be a sun or we can be a black hole. But either way, there's going to be gravity, something pulling things towards us into resentment, into inspiration. And in the end, the solution to frustration is inner peace. Inner peace, paradoxically, will come from the integration of the internal and external through how one navigates conflicts, both interpersonally and environmentally. And they're constantly in flux and brushing up against one another. I have a couple questions here. I wrote, how self-aware am I? Answer. The answer is my critics, enemies, my foes will tell me how I relate to them. They'll be telling me who I am. They'll be telling me who I am with what they say and how they relate to me. They'll be teaching me. And this doesn't mean that it's an absolute, they're right and I'm wrong and I'm right and they're wrong. It's an interaction. There can be truth in every truth underneath vice, right? How things are said, context doesn't negate the potential utility of the content. And my virtue will be revealed, in how I relate to that content. Another answer, my or those close to me will tell me with their words, am I listening to those closest to me? Even those I don't respect their actions, their words may be valuable. Abraham Lincoln, I learn from everyone I meet, usually it's what not to do. Another Abraham Lincoln is, I don't like that person very much. I need to get to know them better. Something to think about as you go through 30 days of thought, and you may be as frustrated as I am, as I have been. Keep reading, keep writing your thoughts in the book, keep sharing your thoughts on social media, on your podcast. Remember, this is your 30 days of thought. The purpose is to read, to think, to write, to develop, to listen, to hear what is unsaid, to speak, to let go, to film these videos, to rewatch yourself like I have. And I'm challenged to do. And I'm going through 30 days of thought again and again. And it's always different and fun. I hope you're having fun too. I'll see you next time on this on the Culture Matters podcast and 30 days of thought.